guys, it's Dr. George and here for Tucked In Tuesdays. Tonight is April 13th, and I probably have one of my most memorable authors guests on here. You know, sometimes as educators, we meet kids along the way and we think they forget about us, but they really don't. And so, of course, you know, I never read the book in advance, but I have this book called Learning to Fly Without Wings, The Takeoff Volume 1 by Princeton and Dustin Akram. Hi, Mike. How are you? Pleasure to have you again, Mike. So this kid, his dad reached out to me last year and told me they were writing a book, and he reached out a few weeks ago and told me that the book was ready. And so I just had to have them on Tucked In Tuesdays. Hi, Kylie from London and Mike from Florida. So I'm going to bring out Princeton and his dad. How are you guys?
All right.
So tell me about them. Actually, a few things. Tell me what inspired you to write the book without telling them what the book is about.
Just things I went through in life.
Things you went through in life.
Yeah.
So how are you? How old are you?
Oh, I'm 12.
12, and you're already saying things you went through in life. So I see Mike put us students, never forget you teachers and principals. That makes me feel good, Mike. So in your book, is it a tell-all book? Do you tell things that people would probably be shocked about?
I think it's more of a self-help. I think you could describe it as a self-help book.
Self-help book. Love that. So I'm trying to go on my page so I can see the people that are on my personal page, because sometimes they put comments and I don't want to forget their comments. So let me refresh my screen, Princeton, and I have from Calvin Denson. He's an author. He said, "Hello, young author. Keep being awesome and keep writing and be blessed." Hi, Ava Ari and Pop Pop. So what made you write a book, Princeton?
Since COVID started, it's not much you can really do. So, me and my dad was just in the living room, and I'm like, hey, let's do this. He was like, okay, you got that, all right. So, just
love it. So I actually have my friend that's attached to the Homer Drive page, and he says, B's watching. Hi, B. We nicknamed his little boy B. So let's go ahead and get started reading. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So Learning to Fly Without Wings, and I'm not quite sure why my page isn't. I'm going to try one more time because I like to say hello to the people that are on my private page as well. So let's see if I can get that to come up, and oh, there it is. All right, turn it down. So hi, Stacy Lewis. Hi, Miss Duke. Mabry is excited for tonight. I have Nathan Menard. Nathan, please stay on. I want you to hear about this kid. Good evening, Miss Bridges. Princeton and his dad from Port Arthur, Texas. So she's from yes. So let's see who else we have on here. I think that's everybody saying hello. And then he said, love it. And Amelia, look at Miss Clayton. Princeton, she said, hi there. So proud of you.
Hi.
And Amelia, we were just talking about how we would look at him all the time and said, he looks like Aubrey. And so I just showed Dad a picture and he was like, yeah, they do. So we'll get started with the book. The book is dedicated. We dedicate this book to every kid around the world that dreams to fly despite not having wings. And there is Princeton, his sister, and who's the other little girl?
That's my dad's wife, daughter, like a sister.
Oh, okay. Miss Clayton said, absolutely, I remember. And Amy said, hi from Nebraska, 1st and 2nd grade. Love that. And Miss Rito, hello. So I got a lot of comments coming in. Chapter 1, growing up. When you're growing up in poverty, there's always another obstacle somewhere in your future. It takes time to catch your balance and figure things out. And sadly, many people run into more setbacks than they do opportunities. Still, it's possible to make your way through this, all of it, no matter how difficult it seems. Learn to navigate poverty and deal with your daily obstacles, and you are setting yourself up for life. You won't just move forward, you'll fly. Of course, you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable first. Or look at you, not knowing where your next meal is coming from, not knowing if the lights will be on when you get home, not knowing if you'll be able to count on your parents. You don't even know if you'll have a home at the end of the day. That's his first page. Ali, this is going to be a tough one for me because I know you, Princeton. Great writing. Wow. None of this is fair and none of this is right. Unfortunately, it's reality for many kids. As of 2019, Pew Research has found that 14% of children in the U.S. are living in poverty, 10.5 million American children in total. I know this because I lived it. My friends lived it too. Poverty was all that we ever knew when we were growing up. Unfortunately, some of my friends didn't grow up with me. According to the CDC, suicide is the second leading cause of death for teenagers and young adults. We were children just looking for guidance, someone to be there for us, someone to tell us how to change our lives. There are other children who want that today, and I feel for them, which is why I sat down and wrote this guide. Now, let me explain something to you. So Princeton was a student at my old school, yes, elementary. And Princeton had some difficulty with his behavior. He was a real angry kid. And so if I'm emotional, it's because I knew Princeton. I knew Princeton's story, but not this part of Princeton. I just thought he was an angry kid. So educators, if you can share this live and so that other educators can see maybe that kid is angry for a reason. So we have the red zone. If you're in the same situation I was in, you are in the red zone. In the red zone, there's almost no hope for you at home. Your parents are on drugs. They'll abuse you. They're unstable, or something else is keeping you from finding a path out of poverty. Here are 3 things that you can do to help yourself. And there's a picture of the red zone.
Stop crying. Just please stop crying. Please just stop crying.
Okay. I'm gonna try.
I know.
You're just an awesome kid. You're a real awesome kid. Yeah, we do, Mike.
When you cry,
Okay.
it's making me feel bad.
No, it's not. It's not sad tears. It's just watching you grow up. It's watching you grow up. Okay, find a safe place for yourself. You need to go somewhere else. Find a place where you can stay and where you will be safe. The 3 places that I recommend often are Job Corps, Boys Haven, or a family member. A family member is ideal if that is an option. If you need to get somewhere far away from your parents, though, then Job Corps is best. Figure out a plan for yourself. And I got people saying I love unconditionally, and one said, oh, wow, awesome advice. Yes, I can relate. One said, Jesus, I know my heart. I know it's okay, Mike. It's just, I know Dad. I know Mr. Akram Story and Princeton Story. Well, I didn't know this part. Figure out a plan for yourself. Now you need to get a handle on what you have envisioned for your life. You need to create a list of your wants and needs so that you can get an idea of what you are going to do to pick yourself up out of poverty. Say that you are deciding between 2 family members, for example. Pick the one with whom you're most comfortable. Anytime you are thinking about your own success and well-being, you need to think carefully. Number 3, know what to expect about your changes. If you stay at Boys Haven, you should be aware that it isn't going to be perfect. That is not a place where rainbows and sunshines greet you for breakfast every morning. Your current situation isn't too wonderful either, though. This is going to be a difficult transition no matter what. I wouldn't recommend Boys Haven for anyone who doesn't have to be there. But if you have to be there, at least go into it with a positive attitude and the right mindset. And they said, young man, keep on this path and you will go far. You have a bright future. And He said he can relate on me and how I've grown up and became a great man thanks to your teaching and being there for me when I was younger. So he tagged some people that were mentors, and how adorable. Hello, Miss Cornwall is also, and hi, Joelle. And so Princeton has a page here where you can write your goals in. So he has a page there. Yellow zone. So here's a picture, the yellow zone. If your situation is not so severe that you need to get away from everything, then you could take a more relaxed approach to your options. Say that you are living in a single parent home. Your father isn't there, but there is someone. Although you live in the hood, you have only ever been around the streets. You're in the yellow zone. Not quite an emergency, but far from comfortable. Here are 3 things that you can do to move toward a more comfortable situation. Hello, Zachary and Janae. Find an after-school activity. You need to stay out of trouble in the afternoons and evenings after you have finished your classes. If you wander around the streets, you're going to run into something bad sooner or later. To keep yourself from that, you need to fill up your schedule. You don't want to leave so much time free that the wrong path tempts you. Get selective about your friends. You want the people in your life to uplift you. If you hang around with kids who are already getting into trouble, it is only a matter of time until you get into trouble yourself. You should make it a goal to find at least 5 people whom you admire and then spend significant time around them. Remember that misery loves company, and that if you wear concrete shoes, you're going to sink when you need to swim. Love that. Start learning about finances. Whether you are finding a temporary job to work or reading up on finances, you want to start learning now. Become an expert in real estate, taxes, stock trading, cryptocurrency, entrepreneurship, or something else that you can use to elevate your position in life. The more that you learn today, the more quickly you will progress into more advanced concepts later. Hi, Mary Simon. And then he has goals there. And I have a message for you, Princeton. It says, great job, Princeton, and Godspeed. You are destined for greatness. Ms. Duke said, you are wise beyond your years. Amazing. He fussed at me for crying, Mr. Akram, because I was.
I wondered, like, what's going on? Like, what?
He fussed at me for crying, so I'm trying to get it together. There's another message that says, love it. Great lessons for the young ones. Young man, you are going places. God bless you. So the green zone.
Crying, Dr. George?
Huh?
So why are you crying?
Because I remember him sitting across from my desk, so angry, and me telling him these things, and him looking like this stuff doesn't work, and just looking at the person he's become, not because of me, but because of what you've instilled in him, is just, if I could really tell the story, yeah. So it's an amazing story.
Cool.
Your situation, this is the green zone. And so I have a wow. I have wow, amazing. Hi, Tony. Your situation may not, of course, sound even as bad as the yellow zone. There are opportunities in front of you, even if there are temptations as well. This is the green zone. Your parents are working hard because of their busy schedules. They are never home to look after you. Many children in this situation take to the streets or parties, wasting their time and getting into trouble because there is no one around to supervise them. It seems cool to you, the street life, the glitz and glamour of gold chains and new shoes, but it isn't going to lead you where you want to be. What you need to realize is that if you keep stumbling in this direction, death or jail awaits you. If you can turn around, you will be able to live the life that you want. You just have to be patient. Here are 3 things that you can do to keep your momentum positive and productive. Yes, Tony, everyone can grow. Awesome message. Listen to your parents. Number 1, your parents are working hard and spending their hours away from home for a reason. They want what is best for you. When they tell you not to do something, is for your own good. You need to respect what they tell you and pay attention when they are talking. The last thing that you want is to ignore a good piece of advice. Number 2, stick to your goals. Once you have decided what you want to do with your life, do it. Don't let anything get between you and your vision for your own life. If something seems fun for an afternoon or an evening, but it could hurt you, forget about it. Make your goals the overriding factor in everything you do. Number 3, be on your parents' team. Instead of taking advantage of your parents' absence, find ways that you can help them. Do the dishes before they get home, take out the trash before they ask you, and keep them motivated by letting them know how hard you are working in school. If you want to act like an adult who is there for your parents. Working hard the same way that they are. That is right, Mary. That is so important. Listen to your parents. Goals are so important. And he has a little note for setting goals to helping your parents. And so, learning to fly without wings, take off and fly. When you are in poverty, it can seem that there is no way out. This is why the cycle of poverty is so destructive. Entire families and generations can succumb to it. But at the same time, you can be the one who breaks it. You can decide to follow the simple steps that I have provided, depending on what your situation looks like, and then find a way forward. You can choose to live your life on your own terms, leaving poverty behind forever. These changes aren't going to take root overnight. While I hope that my words have inspired you to take action, and you need to keep working at the changes that you want to see. You need to be willing to make sacrifices for the life that you want. Sometimes it will feel like you're all alone on this journey. You will see other kids trying to take shortcuts or getting lazy and wonder why you can't do the same. Keep your eyes on your own path. Remember that you are doing what you are doing for a reason. You have seen where the temptations of the streets go, and you don't want any part of that. What you want is better. You want an all-new life, one that looks a lot more like a dream than it does your next month or your next year. Your dream can be your reality, though. One step at a time, you can make it happen. You can fly. Love that. Sabrina said, Princeton, you are amazing. I'm so proud of you. Keep following the path. You are doing awesome. So Princeton, I have a question. What is your favorite part of your book?
I'll say, I'm thinking, because it's a lot of parts, like stuff. I think my favorite is, what part when it tells you, like, listen to your parents, bring your parents to you. I feel like that's my favorite part because I feel like it's going to get to people the most. I feel like.
I love that. I love that. So you have a message from Ireland, Princeton. From Ireland, yes. They said, hope you both, Dr. George and Princeton, could do a joint TED Talk or something similar as you both are inspirational. Immensely impressed by Princeton words of wisdom. Ms. Diggle said, you are such an intelligent and handsome young man. Awesome book. Some of my high school students need this. You got a good job, Princeton. So you have someone from London on here, Florida, Ireland. So yes, your book is now international. People hear about it across the world. So Princeton, I have to give them a little backstory because Princeton was at my school, and Princeton was in the 3rd grade, right, Princeton?
I was in all grades from I'll say 3rd grade to 5th grade. 3rd grade, 5th grade.
But I left, but 3rd grade, because I went to I left. He said you can have me too. Yes, Mike is great advocate for the autism community. Ms. Duke said you're one special young man. Thank you for your insight. So Princeton, when you were in elementary, Princeton would come in my office and he would promise me he wouldn't mess up again. And Miss Clayton is on here. She was the counselor. And she would talk to Princeton. And he said, I promise I'm not. And then I'd say, who is that up there? And who would it be, Princeton?
Oh, where?
Who would be back in the office? Who would be back in the office?
Me.
It would be Princeton. And so I never gave up on Princeton. I would check on Princeton in the morning. I kept in touch with Dad. I remember Dad had this motorcycle and he brought it to show Princeton because Princeton was just trying everything. We were trying everything and we couldn't get through, but we didn't realize that Princeton was going through things that we didn't see. The only way he expressed that he was struggling was through his anger. And that's why I always try to find out the why, because there's a reason why that child is angry in your room. So Dad, I haven't heard from you. So Dad, what inspired you to write the book with your son?
I think it was mostly Princeton. I just wanted to keep the tone in the book. I mostly was the editor, right? I just want to edit it well and make it kind of readable for kids like in his age group, right? And I think some of the things, um, I think some of the things was good for parents to know as well. There's a lot of information that Princeton came to me with that I didn't know. I didn't know about the suicide rate and all of them things. You know what I'm saying? So we had deep conversations, and I think it was important. Like we talked about like rehab and things that he can do to um help parents, like in the book. I think that's gonna come like in the second book. I think Princeton Wade have like huge shoulders. His shoulders are way bigger than mine, and everything that he endured in life to be able to sit back and look at it in hindsight and have the conversations with me. I think his standpoints was really like, hey, how can I help someone else, right? And how can I help someone else, and not just the kids, but they parents, right? Because he believes he has broad shoulders. He wants to be the parent. Like how can I help this person? How can I help them get through it? And you know, parents, you as a parent, I look at it like this, right? Because it was a humble experience for me. We had a interview last was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
on the radio station. And the lady, I let Princeton have the spotlight, but the lady was asking Princeton like how it feels to have me as a father and stuff like that. And Princeton like, it's cool when dad comes around like in his motorcycle and this and that, right? That moment is cool, but when dad leaves, the lights are still off, the water's still off. Like I'm still going through this, and you're not here, right? And it was like a shocker to me because at that time I just wanted to be the cool dad that showed up with the money and outdo mom, right? And looking back on that in hindsight, I didn't try to help mom. I could have tried to help mom, but I didn't try to. I just wanted to outshine and be like, oh, I'm better than mom, right? But I wasn't. I was a little boy, so you have that mind frame, and I'm a grown man, and to have my child sit up here who's more mature than me up in certain situations, be like, hey, look, I want to help kids and I want to help their parents who's going through these things. You sit back and you become humble and you let him steer the car, right? You just make sure you put the gas up in the gas tank when you're ready to drive.
Yeah. Dad, and I feel like Oprah on here because I feel like I have somebody. I mean, your story is just amazing because I didn't realize how young you were when Princeton was little.
Yeah,
And you would sit, I remember you would call and you would listen to me like I was the most wisest woman. And I
yeah,
was just as green as you were. But you would
yeah.
sit and you would listen. And I remember calling you, but I want to read some more of these comments for Princeton. Princeton said, very impressed. Always remember that if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. What an incredible way to bond as father and son. Yes, listen, I so needed to be watching tonight. Ms. Campbell is giving someone else a shout out. I think that's to Mike. Princeton, great job. Keep up the great work and advocating. Ms. Simon said, phenomenal. And she said, my daughter has autism and she talks to me about her struggles and it hurts sometimes. On here, he says, Dad, Ms. Duke said you did an amazing job, both as a role model and an editor. Thank you for supporting your son. And so you have several, and Ms. Rito says, great job, Dad. So I want to say this, where can they buy this book?
Amazon, Amazon.com is the only site where you can get it right now. It's not a big seller, so you probably have to like type in Princeton name. But if you type in Princeton name or the title of the book, it should pop up.
And so it's Princeton and Dustin Akram. So you can put it in there as a spelling. And so I noticed there's a volume 1. Give me a little insight about volume 2. Will there be a volume 2?
Yes. But I can't tell you too much.
But you what? But what?
I can't tell you too much.
You can't tell me too much. Princeton, how old are you now?
I'm 12. I'm about to be 13. 1 more month.
I just love y'all so much. Mr. Akram, when you reached out to me last year to tell me that about Princeton, and I had heard from you in so long, and then you called back to say you're gonna, you wrote the book, and I was like, I gotta get you on there. Yes, Melissa, adorable young man. Tony McPherson said it's a cliffhanger, Dr. George. Evidently it is. So I always like to do a biggest takeaway. When authors write books, one thing that I learned is that sometimes they write it meaning for one way and then I perceive it a different way. It's all about what life has given us. So I like to do my biggest takeaway and then I'll have you do it, Mr. Akram, and then you, Princeton, okay? My biggest takeaway from this book is no matter what situation you're in as a kid, no matter if it's semi-perfect, perfect, or not so perfect, you have to deal with something in life. And if we don't sit down and self-reflect over choices that we make, because if you have a mom and dad at home and they both work and you have this big fancy house, those kids have problems too. And so my biggest takeaway for this, from this book, is for kids to know that your life is not going to be perfect, but you can work on making it better. That's my biggest takeaway. Mr. Akram, what's your biggest takeaway?
We are raising each other. I think that's my biggest takeaway. We are growing and raising each other.
That's so true. Princeton, what about you? Your biggest takeaway?
Define what you mean.
Define what I mean. I mean, if there was one lesson from this book, what would it be?
Oh, it's a lot of lessons, but the biggest lesson is to stay out of trouble. I'm just saying. That's all I can really say. Just stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble.
Love it. Love it, Princess. So she has love it. We are raising each other. And Miss Cooper, 5th grade Miss Cooper. I don't know if you remember her, Princeton. She said, hey, Princeton, I'm so proud of you, Mrs. Cooper. Miss Duke said, thank you for the most touching books ever. And she said, amen. And Mr. Cofield said, just order your book. Thank you. He just ordered your book. So one way that you can help this dad and son duo is to buy that book. That's the first start. Get that story out because more people need to hear that story, young and old. Mike says, my takeaway is that if you have positive people in your life and give you the tools you need to be a great adult, that you can see how you are today. They can see how you are today. That's right. You can grow up and go back and tell those people. So she said, hey, and she gave you a red heart. Princeton, Miss Cooper did. Tashonda said, getting this book after the live. I love it. So Princeton, I've never had this many people on my personal live. It's only 12, but normally it's only 3, but they're really pretty fancy. And they're sharing the story. But before I go, I talked to him before. And just like last time, I was able to get an autographed book from the author. Princeton and Dad is going to sponsor a book to one of the Homer Drive professors. They're going to autograph it and send it to the school. So I'll get that address and I'll let him know who the winner is. But he'll put a note and someone on his live that teaches or works at Homer Drive will win this book if you listen to this tonight on the live. Thank you all so much. And I always like to leave a message. And I always say every single night, if nobody else tells you Dr. George loves you, you have any parting words, Mr. Akram?
I just thank everybody for watching. We appreciate the opportunity and thank you for having us on.
Okay, Princeton.
Hope you liked the video.
Stop being silly.
All right. I just hope people learn something from the book. That's all I can really say. And hope you have a good sleep.
And Miss Cooper said she will be ordering and she needs your autograph. And they say, we love you and thank you. Yes, we do. Miss Bridges, love you guys too. So good night, Dad and Princeton. Hang on. Good night, guys.